Hello there, and welcome to the Time Machine with Trish and Mike. I'm Mike.
And I'm Trish.
And we're glad you're with us once again. And we are glad, for the first time ever, we have a guest.
We do. Who is our guest, Mike?
Our guest this week is none other than Andy, better known as Crazy Cocoa Butter Cosplay. Hello, Andy. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Thanks for having me. And I got to say, I don't think my my radio voice is up to par for YouTube, but I'll do my best.
It sounds fine. It's not frozen right now, so that's good. You're if you were out working, outside and your vocal cords are all, I can't talk today. So you sound like a human. So we're glad.
That's right. Yeah. I'm nice and cozy warm here. So
for now, till you walk outside.
For now.
So we are actually starting the week of January 27, and we're going to go all the way to February 2nd with a special holiday.
Yes, which I think, well, by mentioning special holiday on February 2nd,
it's special-ish.
I think people already can kind of figure out where we're going at the end of the show, but,
No, they don't.
It's a teaser. It's not what you think it is. Okay, it is what you think it is, but whatever.
But isn't it nice? We've made it to February.
It is. It is nice.
1 month down.
It's like we were talking last week, Allie. Like you blink and all of a sudden it's the end of January.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say it's like February of 2025 right now, isn't it?
It feels
like
it.
Right? So it feels like.
I mean, did 2021 even happen?
I think it happened like 6 times. I think 2021 was probably 17 months long. But yeah, it's about time things move up.
It's like I was talking to somebody last week, and I was like, 2005, that was just like 7 years ago, right? It's like, no, that was 17 years ago. What?
Like now I feel old and depressed. Like living through a pandemic's not enough.
Right? The never-ending
to rob me of my early 2000s.
The never-ending pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the never-ending story. And not in a good way.
Much better though.
What, the pandemic or the movie?
The movie.
Okay. Well, because some people get like upset, during the movie,
Well, it's sad. But I'm willing to take it over the pandemic.
I think we'd take anything over the pandemic at this point.
This is true.
Including the zombie invasion, because at least that'd be fun.
But at least we all now know, though, who are the people in our inner circle who would definitely hide a zombie bite.
Yes, and we also have learned this is why I didn't like group projects in school, because, we're doing so great at working together on this. But anyway, speaking of school, our first topic takes us back to when we were in school.
It features the school.
It does, because Andy's favorite musician, Britney Spears, had the #1 song, Baby One More Time, on January 27th, 1999. And
I even went so far to grow my pigtails out just for that. Such a huge fan.
With the fuzzy feather, the pink feathers, the floofles.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Classic.
Did the extra ab crunches to tie off the shirt to show the midriff?
This body was built for dancing and singing, let me tell you. I am all Britney all day long.
Well, I remember when that came out, my brother was just like, obviously, my brother who's 5 years older than me, was in grade 12, and he's just like, or it was first year university, I think. Definitely was this video was a little bit repeated. Because you guys have MTV, we have Much Music.
Right.
We watched it a lot on Much Music.
We actually got Much Music down here.
Did you?
On the cable company that we had. It was on like the next tier up, like the digital.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so like cable here in America, you had at the time you would have like your standard cable that would go up to like 70 channels or something like that, and then you would get a digital cable box that would give you like an extra 100 channels or something, and Much Music was on there. So that's so familiar with Much Music.
See, I was just basic cable kid, so I don't know the nice much music or whatever. I had VH1 and I had MTV. That's what I had.
See, and as a Canadian kid, I wanted like VH1 so badly, and just we didn't get that for. It wasn't until you started getting the digital and optic and stuff like that.
Yeah, see, MTV was the new stuff, and I always seemed like VH1 was like the older stuff.
It was like the 80s
mixed
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And that's how it was really at the time. Of course, now I couldn't even tell you what either of those channels show. Like,
oh yeah,
like MTV hasn't shown music for, like, I know they still do the MTV Video Music Awards, but I'm like, when do you ever show music?
And do artists even do music videos anymore? I mean,
I haven't.
What's the point?
Yeah, I haven't seen music videos in a long time, really, because it's so iconic. Because if you hear "Baby One More Time," you instantly are thinking of that music video. Like, I mean, that's back when TRL was a thing, and you would count down. You know, you see the daily countdown videos. It was always.
Did you guys ever have pop-up video, or was that just a Much Music thing?
Love pop-up video.
I love pop-up video.
The pop-up video was on VH1, actually.
Yep.
Yeah, which I think that didn't it originate from Much Music. I think the
I don't
concept.
know. That's exciting that a Canadian thing influenced America. Like, whoo, we made the big time.
Early Nickelodeon shows, a lot of those came from Canadian. Like, you can't do that on television, and
from Canadian land.
Yes, so you know the Canadian influence is a thing.
Well, it sometimes doesn't feel like it.
So,
but there's a very important question though for this topic.
Yes, there is.
Because
and Andy's kind of spoiled his answer already, but
that's right. Andy, you can't go back now. Is it Brittany or Christina?
Ooh.
What is your fave? Who do you back?
If I were to choose, I like Christina Aguilera. I would say that just because I don't know, I liked her music a little better. Brittany's kind of seemed too cookie cutter, but I mean, if you're watching MTV, it doesn't really matter which one if you're watching it, but if you're listening to it, that's a different story. That's my opinion on that, though.
See, and I think Christina, I mean, I feel bad because I think under the conservativeship and stuff for Brittany, like she wasn't allowed to sing the way she wanted. And you're right with the cookie cutter comment, because they wanted her to sound a specific way when that's not even her range. So now her voice is like super damaged from singing in that octave for so long. And I think Christina live is better.
I would agree.
I'm gonna agree with both of you on this, because I've seen both of them actually in concert before, and you know, with Brittany you get the better show because it's more the production and the glitz and the dancing and the lights and everything. Christina's the better vocalist. I mean, because she's got like a 4-octave range, like it's insane the vocal runs that she can do. So yeah, it just depends what you know how you want to measure
what you're preferring.
Brittany obviously is the most successful, but you know, Christina was the better singer.
See, and I'm not ever going to go to a concert because it's not my thing. I'm like, ew, people. So I'll take Christina all day long.
See, yeah, I think if you're looking for entertainment value, you're going with Brittany. But if and I'm the kind of person, like if I go to a concert, I don't need all the dancing and the lights and all that. Like I like the sheer talent of the voice and how they can sing and like the types of songs. So that's kind of why I would say I'd go with Christina on that. Not that she's really my cup of tea as far as music either, but if I had to choose.
If you have to choose, yeah.
Yep.
Just give Andy a Kenny Chesney concert and he's pretty happy.
That's right. Island boy up here at heart. They're just missing the ocean. That's all we're missing up here in Wisconsin. Great Lakes don't count either.
I was gonna say you do have lakes, but they're frozen. So.
Yeah. Can't really do much on them right now than skate, so that's about it.
You know,
that's not bad.
That kind of brings up an interesting side note, because I've always wanted to ask you. You're not really like a big hockey guy.
Well, when I was in school, I never played, and the reason I never played when I was growing up was because it costs so much money.
Oh, it's so expensive,
and all that, and I'm like, not going to happen, you know. So like, I can watch hockey. I understand hockey. In fact, we have a local hockey team here in our city that they're adults and all that, so that they travel and they play and all that. So we go down there and we have a good time and watch them. But yeah, it's growing up, I played hockey quite a bit. Like we have an outdoor skating rink in that. So I mean, I can skate and do all that stuff, but never really like, I guess, played in organized sports with it. So.
I hockey I know is a very expensive sport to get into. That's why it's, you know, but I just, you know, since you live in a place that's frozen 6 months out of the year, and I know Wisconsin doesn't have an NHL team and all that. So we've discussed football all the time. We discussed baseball. We've just never really discussed hockey. And I was just total.
See, in Wisconsin, we have 3 seasons. We have Brewers baseball season, which then leads into Packers football season, and then we have drinking season, and then we get back into baseball season. So that's kind of how the circle of life happens around here.
Edmonton's kind of like that, only you got to throw in the hockey season, but there's usually drinking involved in that season.
Well, I was just going to say, like, drinking season starts, like, that would require the previous season to end.
Well, we're like Canadians.
It's like
just drink drinking seasons, like, not, yeah, that's right.
Right, but we have to focus on football and baseball.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then
yeah. See, and I
Okay,
like the live sports. I just don't like I don't like watching hockey on TV, but if I'm in the arena, then I'm all for it.
see, I've never been to one, but I would like to get to a hockey game. I mean, the closest for us is the Minnesota Wild and the Chicago Blackhawks. So,
Right.
Never been to one of those before yet.
Yeah. And they're also super expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Even cheap Oiler tickets are crazy.
We have a minor league hockey team in Orlando called the Solar Bears.
That's so cute.
So they're fun.
So adorable.
I almost actually went to a game tonight, actually, but as we record this, but I decided not to. So
we feel important now.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, that's right. You're one of us, Mike.
I blew off hanging with Shades the Solar Bear to record the show with y'all today.
Well, and our whole Britney versus Christina debate kind of leads into the next story, because in January 28th, Gwen Stacy ends up dying in Spider-Man, the comic. There's no actual date given, so I can't give you the specific date. But that kind of can get us into the discussion of like who was Spider-Man's like the better girlfriend, because he's had a few.
Spider-Man's a player.
A little bit for how dorky and like what do I want to say? Not like he's not untalented. He's like just not that always charismatic, like outgoing guy to get the girl.
Right?
Awkward.
He's just a simple man.
Awkward man.
I need to take dating tips from Spider-Man, apparently.
Gotta get those ladies.
Yeah. Now, since it's already the end of January, can we safely like Spider-Man spoilers? Are we okay with that?
Andy, did you see the new Spider-Man? Do you care?
I have not, but no, I don't care.
Okay.
As sad as it is, you're gonna throw me under the bus for this. I understand Marvel movies; they're just not like I don't get super excited over them.
That's fair.
That's fair.
I like to, I'll keep up with them and kind of the general storyline, but when it starts diving into comics and specifics, lost.
Well, no, to be fair, I'm not a big comic book guy, so I don't like. There are times where they'll tease this or that or whatever, and people will lose their mind, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna need somebody to explain this part to me because I don't quite get it. But like with No Way Home, the Spider-Man movie, you didn't have to have that as long as you'd seen the other movies. You're able to get it, So I don't.
Except for there was a moment where, because I watched it watched online with Nick, and he gasped at one line, and I was like, I have no idea. And afterwards, he's like, they're alluding to the fact that in the comic book, this and this happens, and I'm like, okay, like I'm also not a comic book person, so had no idea that it was an important line.
I think it's one of those things where like they throw stuff in there, and for those that get it, really get it, and then the ones that
which is nice,
are just novice like us, we're like, okay, next. So
because if we are going to go with spoilers with No Way Home, right, the cool part is Gwen Stacy dies in the Spider-Man comic book just like she dies in the Andrew Garfield movie because he's not able to save her. But in No Way Home, he's able to save, spoiler alert, Mary Jane, right? And so he has that redemption moment.
MJ.
You're like, yeah.
Okay.
MJ. Oh yeah, not Mary Jane.
She's not
MJ.
Mary Jane. She's MJ.
That's right. I mean, in my mind, Mary Jane is like the girlfriend though for Spider-Man.
Right. But no, I would agree, because if you just say Spider-Man, like that's the first one I think that I would think of as well. It makes for a really good movie, but it's to the point to where, if you saw the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies and you knew how much that messed him up, he gets that redemptive moment of saving the current Spider-Man's girlfriend from falling. But well, he didn't save her from falling. She was falling, but he saved her from dying. Let me as she
clarify
fell. She fell, which started the whole thing.
So I think because I go back to the 90s cartoon, and Gwen Stacy always seemed like one of those girls that was just like way too sophisticated and like overly sexual for Spider-Man, and you're like, she does not have good intentions with this man. So as a woman, I was like, no, Gwen Stacy, she's out for me.
Reminds me, whenever you guys get down here to Florida, you get to go on the Spider-Man ride that we have at Universal.
I'll hold your guys' stuff. We know Trish doesn't do rides.
Trish doesn't do rides, we know, but like it's like walking into a time capsule, because it feels like an early 2000s ride, because it's kind of themed around the 90s animated The Amazing Spider-Man cartoon kind of thing. It's whatever.
So you can go on the ride, throw up, but still be in nostalgia, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. It's not that crazy. It's more of like a simulator type ride. Like you move through and you see the thing on the video screen. Yeah,
could
it's not
probably
like
do
a
that.
roller coaster or anything.
Oh, well, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah,
I don't do any of the other
Yeah,
crazy stuff.
I don't do the crazy coasters and stuff, but it's fun.
Hmm.
Today would have been a nice day to go to the parks, but
But again,
Must be
here you are,
nice.
Yes.
stuck here with us, passing up hockey games, roller coasters.
Yeah.
and you're just here
Andy and I
talking.
are feeling real loved, real loved here.
just say it's like, it's like 68 degrees. It's a beautiful day here. This is like a day you can go out and do stuff outside and not want
Just-
to die.
If only I was stuck inside, not recording this podcast with my friends.
Trish and I are like looking out the window. We're like, I don't want to go out there. There's nothing to do out there. We're standing
Yeah.
outside for. Like, I
It's
gotta
a
go to my
frozen
car.
wasteland.
Yeah, I got to go to my car. Oh man.
There was a morning here. We finally got out of the polar vortex. And I had a routine where like 10 minutes before I had to leave, I would run out and start my car because I don't have a remote starter, which stinks. But I was like, oh my gosh, it's the time I have to run outside and start my car. I'm like, wait a minute. It is +2 degrees. I don't have to start my car, which is like 32.0 for you guys, right? So it's like 33
Correct.
degrees.
Yeah.
It's the little things in life, right?
You're like, so warm, 33 degrees.
My mom's car has heated seats.
Oh,
Why?
mine does. Great. Yeah. Why in Florida?
It was like she got it like used. It was previously like the previous owner or whatever was in like Michigan or Pennsylvania or something. So it was a car originally built and shipped up there. And so it has heated seats.
So does your mom have it? Does it have a block heater?
What's a block heater?
Do you want to explain it to him, Andy?
Yeah, well, it's basically what it is. You plug your car in, like you plug it into like an outlet, and it keeps it warm so that when you want to start it, it doesn't freeze up and your car can start.
The engine will turn over.
Okay. I'll
So you
look into
should
that.
look. There'll be like a cord kind of tucked in. Every year you're like, oh, it's getting cold. I better find the cord and untuck it. And you don't, and you wait until the first cold day and you're freezing your friggin' fingers off because you're trying to like get up under there and find it.
Is it like in the engine bay or something? Or
It's like I think it's by your starter, like kind of in that area. It's
okay.
And then like in the front grill of your car, you'll have a little like a cord, and you just plug it into the.
Usually it comes out of the grill, or if you have like older models, then you have to have it kind of stick out of your hood. You just like close your hood on the cord.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go pop her hood and investigate this because I'm curious now.
That would be very interesting.
But like it's nice because there sometimes that I've driven her car and like maybe if my back's bother me or something that day, I just turn the heated seat on. I'm like, oh, this feels nice. Or if you get a pizza, you just put the pizza in the passenger seat, turn the heated seat on, keep it hot.
I won't lie, that actually does work really well for that. I won't lie.
I tell you what I actually do. I started doing a while back is I keep one of those like those thermal insulated bags that you get at the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like the foil looking kind of bag that insulates things to keep things hot or cold. And I stick my pizzas in those. That helps too.
That takes pre-planning. You have to buy the bag and have it in your car. That's like too many steps.
But like
for
if
me.
I know I'm going to pick up a pizza, I just grab it and take it with me, But whatever.
Why wouldn't you just have it delivered and then have them use their thermal bag and there you go.
I would, but like, okay, so the Papa John's won't deliver to my house. I'm too far out of the delivery zone. So if I want Papa John's, I have to go get it. I have a Domino's like 4 minutes down the road from my house. So they're my usual go-to, but
I was going to say, Andy, he's never had to go through the trauma of like, I don't want to go outside to get anything.
Right. Like I got to actually, like when I plan my week, I'm like, I want to get pizza, but I got to look at the weather real quick first. So I got to look at my
mentally
like,
prepare.
Yep. I'm like, oh no, we're not getting pizza that day. I don't care what day of it is, so it's like,
Well, a good day to have pizza is your birthday. And January 29th, 1945, Tom Selleck was born. And this brings us to one of the many reasons we have decided to have you on, since you have done a Magnum PI cosplay.
I have.
We figured we would this was a perfect opportunity to bring you on to tell us all about yourself, about Tom Selleck, about whatever the heck else you want to talk about, because you're our guest and this is an open forum.
Well, I guess for one, if we're going to be talking about Tom Selleck, I mean, we have to talk about his mustache. I mean,
oh yeah.
Who else has one of the most iconic mustaches than Tom Selleck? I mean, if you shave off his mustache, it's not Tom Selleck anymore, it's Tom Selleck. I mean, without that, you have nothing. But
I mean, Tom Selleck, Burt Reynolds. I mean, these are like two of the most.
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. Dale
I was going to
Earnhardt?
say,
Yeah.
wow, what's the name of the Adams family's dad?
Oh,
Gomez.
Gomez.
Yeah.
He's not the same without his mustache.
Yep.
But that's all I can think of,
Yeah.
right?
I remember when Andy was growing his out to do his Tom Selleck stuff.
It was bad. Like, okay, so for one, I look like an idiot with a mustache. I won't lie. I hate mustaches. But anyway, I'm like, I'm gonna try it. And I tried it, and it
No
was
mustaches.
it was hard. It was hard to like look in the mirror and go, this is a good look. I think who does that? Who looks in the mirror and goes, yeah, I'm gonna rock this mustache for a while.
To be fair, I think a lot of people mustaches are hard to pull off. Like just a mustache. Like
Yes, you have to have the
I
face.
Like I have a mustache and beard and the whole deal, but just a mustache, like
Right.
this. I don't
No.
think this doesn't work for me. You know.
Mm.
No.
But
I actually have a list of the top 18 individuals with mustaches.
Oh, let's hear it.
Okay,
If we want to go through it.
let's
Okay.
do it. All right.
Starting at the bottom at 18, we have Ron Burgundy with his mustache,
Okay.
right? Sure.
I mean, fictional
Groucho-
characters. I thought we were
It's
doing
fictional,
real.
not
Okay.
there's real
Right.
there's some
Okay.
real people too.
Okay.
Okay. Well, Groucho Marx.
Yeah.
This is according to Good
Mhm.
Housekeeping, by the way.
Okay.
Number 17. 16, John Waters, the pencil thin,
Yeah.
right? Mustache
Okay.
that
Yep,
he's
okay.
got going.
hmm
Which I'm like, I think that's even worse than the full blown mustache, but whatever.
That's like a
It's okay.
mustache with upkeep. That's
Yeah, that's commitment right there.
Yeah.
That's why I do the mustache and beard, so that way I don't have to shave every day or whatever.
Clark Gable
Yep.
was very
Okay.
famous with his mustache and Gone with the Wind. Walter Cronkite
oh
Yeah.
might not have been anything to talk about in terms of size, but it was manly, according to Good Housekeeping.
It was distinguishable because at the time really didn't have a lot of even still you don't get a lot of like news broadcasters like anchor people with mustaches. Really.
Right. Rocking the facial hair.
Yeah.
yeah, they're pretty clean cut.
Mm-hmm. Especially for back then.
You guys already mentioned this individual, but Burt Reynolds, number 13.
That's low.
Oh, they have the next one. I didn't even think of this, but Eddie Murphy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, I would have to say out of all the mustaches, his probably if he didn't have one,
Yeah.
besides Tom Selleck.
You guys, well,
Yeah.
people listening did not see my reaction to this, but Tom Selleck's number 11.
What?
What?
This
What?
list is invalid.
Yeah.
That's
wanna
it.
know
Good
the sources.
housekeeping.
What Canadian
out.
made this list?
Not this one. Charlie Chaplin's number 10.
Yeah,
Maybe
Hitler.
we're just missing some iconic.
Hitler kind of ruined that
Don't.
look. I'm
Yes.
just saying.
Okay.
No,
I thought you were
no.
gonna say Hitler would be on the list. You better damn well
No,
not
no,
be.
no. I'm just saying, like that ruined that
Yeah,
look forever.
Yeah. Because my grandfather in his wedding photo, he's in his military uniform with my grandma, and he had the little mustache. And when I showed my students for like Remembrance Day or Veterans Day,
Mhm.
they're like, why is he rocking a Hitler stash? I'm like, whoa, no. This was
Right.
like culturally acceptable, and Hitler just also happened to wear it.
Yes, and ruin it forever.
Ruin it forever. Hulk Hogan's number 9.
Oh yeah.
They actually did a thing back in '95 where they actually shaved his mustache as part of a bit.
That
It
would
was
be
weird.
not good. It would be
Really?
so weird.
It was weird to see him without a mustache. Yep.
I'm gonna have to Google that because
Mhm.
I don't know if I want to. I might be scared.
That sounds like the stuff of nightmares.
You know.
This is someone I never would have anticipated talking about with a mustache, but Albert Einstein, number 8.
Oh yeah, I always think of the hair, but yeah, he's got the mustache.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, number 7, Steve Harvey. That is true.
Yes.
Don't ever
Okay.
think about.
He's got a new
Uh,
show now where he's a judge. I don't know if you
Really?
can see this in Canada. Yeah, it's Judge Steve Harvey. It's like, I mean, they're not like really like super serious cases, but they like he's sitting up there on
Is
the
it
bench
actually
as the
legally
judge.
binding?
That I don't know. I haven't got a chance
Oh.
to dig. I just caught a few minutes of it the other week when it started, and I was like, all right,
Hmm.
this is everything you expect this show to be.
So it's like Judge Judy type of thing, like people's court
Yeah.
stuff.
Right, exactly.
Oh, we have to get the legal perspective on that one. This
Mhm.
is definitely not someone I would think of, and I think that's probably my Canadian roots. But number 6 is Theodore Roosevelt.
Okay, yeah.
He's got a nice stash.
I
I
wouldn't
think
say he's ranked should be ranked that high though.
No,
You know?
I think of the glasses more than I do the mustache with him.
Yeah,
but
and like
okay.
the hair, like
Yeah. Okay.
Considering there is such a thing as the Robert Goulet Mustache Award, we're confident in Goulet's high ranking as number 5.
No.
hmm.
No.
I mean, yes, but no, not not over Selleck and Reynolds.
This is definitely not someone I would think of, but Salvador Dali. He's like the really like
I
crazy
almost-
thin.
I almost
Curly.
mentioned him, but so I
Really?
could see that because it's very unique.
Yeah, they talk about the creative manscaping.
Now
Like,
I
do we
really
have to ask about your creative manscaping here, gentlemen?
only above the waist.
Yep.
Who's the top 3 on this deal? Because we've named
Okay.
everybody. I'm just curious.
It's like who's left?
Right.
I don't know
there's
this person,
one person
but
I
you
can
guys
think
might.
of. There's one person I can think of that hasn't been mentioned yet that I'm saving if they're not
You're
on this
saving?
list. Yep. But
Okay.
Go ahead.
I got 2.
So-
Okay.
2. I got nothing. Clearly I'm not paying any attention to any man's mustache. You guys will probably know this, but I have no idea who this is. Rolly Fingers, the
Raleigh
MLB.
Fingers. Yes.
Raleigh?
Yes.
Raleigh
Okay.
Fingers.
Mm-hmm. That is a mustache.
He was a baseball pitcher. I think back in the 70s and 80s.
Yep. Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
He did the
I guess-
handlebar mustache.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
like all curly. It looks
Yep.
really cute, but it's like,
Like-
no, not my style.
He played for the Brewers.
Oh,
Mhm.
he said that he grew his out in order to get a fellow teammate to shave his. So it was all just kind of a dare, I guess.
He sure showed him, I guess. Huh?
Right?
Now he's known for it forever.
Number 2 is Mark Twain. He was not a fan of beards, but he did love himself a good walrus mustache. Is that actually the appropriate term for that style? Walrus
Yeah.
mustache?
I think
Yeah.
it's like the bushy mustache. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's like the Jamie from Mythbusters mustache.
Oh, yeah, that
Yes.
one. Yeah. And then they have Frederick Nietzsche for number 1. I never say his name right.
I don't even know who that is.
He's the philosopher who started explaining the whole nihilism
Huh.
frame of thinking.
This is
Apparently
a
he had a really good
terrible.
mustache too.
This is a terrible.
It's a
list.
terrible. Who did you have and that you neither one of your 3 collective
Trish,
that you guys?
you need to go to goodhousekeeping.com, not .ca next time.
It's .com, my friend. This is American list.
Uh,
Who was left out that you guys were thinking of?
all right. Who'd you have, Andy? Who were
Well,
your
I had
2?
Raleigh Fingers, but then that one was. But my other
Okay.
one
Really?
was Wilford Brimley.
Ooh.
Who's Wilford Brimley?
Oh,
the
you'll know.
diabetes guy.
Diabetes guy.
Oh,
Yep.
I forgot. Okay.
Yes, the diabetes commercials, and wasn't it like oatmeal? Wasn't it for oatmeal or something? He did
Something.
it too?
Yeah, I think he did that back in like the 90s or something. Yeah.
Quaker Oats.
Yeah, something like that. He was
my-
like 80 for like 10, 30.
Yeah,
40
he's been
years.
80
like
forever. Yeah.
All right. So my Regency bias will be showing when I say this, but
Okay.
Walt Disney.
Oh, that's true.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Interesting.
happy birthday, Tom.
Yeah.
And his mustache as well.
And to his
Yes.
mustache.
Yeah.
It should have its own birthday. When was that? When did it debut?
I've always known him to have it. I mean, I can't picture him in a movie or a show without it. So yeah,
I'm gonna see when I can find out.
72.
72. So what we're going with?
I'm aiming high on that, but I don't know.
Oh, his age?
Yeah.
Tom Selleck's mustache. Beardaholic has a whole article
Oh.
devoted to his stash. So let's see. It's from last year. It was updated December 20th, 2021.
No, his birthday. He's turning 77 this year.
Oh wow.
He looks good.
Yeah, it does.
For
And he's still active. He still is on. Well, they're still making Blue Bloods, aren't they?
they are.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to see if they show when he actually grew it out in this article. Showing our professionalism here as we randomly
but
find
to be
facts.
fair, we've gone on to a side topic, so we weren't prepared for
okay.
this. We have stuff for other things, but some things we just have to stall. But that's why we have Andy
Oh,
on, so we can.
They
yeah.
talk about
Yep.
how to make your mustache look like his mustache. So they don't actually have the mustache's birth date.
Okay, then.
That's
Well,
okay.
you know what? One thing, and I've dealt with this as I've done different cosplays. Having facial hair is when you have to paint your face. It becomes you have this debate of what do you do? Do you try to paint over it and you wind up looking like the Cesar Romero Joker from the '60s Batman show, or do you shave it, or do you just like trim it down and paint over it? And that was an issue for the rock band Kiss back on January 30th, 1973, when they played their first show at the Coventry Club in Queens, New York.
Yeah, because you recently, for your Onward cosplay,
Mhm.
had to paint your face.
Yeah, it was the first time.
Did
in
you
a few
ever?
years.
Did you ever think of? Did you ever think about just like totally shaven?
So it's funny, Joey, Captain Puerto Rico, who does a lot of the photos. If you go to my page, you'll pretty much all the photos he's taken of me. He will still give me crap about that one because I didn't shave the beard enough. So like the blue was still like some of the black of my beard was still kind of showing through, but I did trim it down from what it was because I had done Red Guardian the day before. And so I needed a thick, long beard. So he likes to still give me a hard time for that. But yeah.
Yeah, I know. I hate when I forget to shave too. No. How long does it take you guys to grow out your facial hair?
For me, it depends how short I make it. I mean,
like we're going clean cut. Like
if
I don't know why you'd have to go clean cut if it's like a wedding or something.
It takes a few weeks for it to get back to looking somewhat normal.
Okay.
For me, I'm not sure about Andy. I think he's got an audio problem right now.
Oh no.
All right, welcome back. We had a bit of a technical glitch there with Andy, but he's back. We were talking about painting mustaches or painting over mustaches.
Painting faces, painting over facial hair.
Regrowing facial hair. That was the question.
Yes.
How long it would take you to regrow your look. Well, because you said you're not really a mustache guy, so you really just have more of a thin goatee, really kind of thing.
Yeah, see,
I do the whole stubble thing because if I don't, I look like I'm 12. And I hate that. So like I kind of go like for a week or two and then I trim it up, but it's hard because like I'm crazy. So I don't know how you don't do it, but like if I have a cosplay or something where I need to shave, I like shave and I'm like, ugh, I hate this. But so it's about a week. It takes me about a week.
Yeah,
because with your James Bond, you're like totally clean shaven.
Yeah, and like it takes like a week. So like for a week, I got to walk around feeling like ashamed and look down at people. And, but no.
And then don't you feel weird when you're looking at pictures of yourself in that cosplay? Like that's like, for example, we were talking last week about my Phantom of the Opera. It's like if I'm doing that, I've got to shave it down pretty short, practically shave it. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't like looking at pictures of me because of it.
I think it's because you look in the mirror every day and you see yourself, every day with facial hair or something, and then it's gone. And you're like, who am I? But yeah.
I wonder what the Kiss guys do because their makeup always looks pretty stellar. Is it just like a really thick makeup and they just only have like stubble or clean shaven? Yeah,
it's a really thick makeup. There's actually a really kind of interesting video if you ever have like 10-15 minutes you want to watch where Gene Simmons is painting his daughter's face. Like she's like, I don't know, 20 or something. So it's not like
he's doing the Kiss makeup on her.
Exactly. Okay. So it was very cool. It's kind of like very relaxing to watch. It has like a Bob Ross effect to it. It does.
It's an ASMR
or whatever.
Yeah, thank you. I can't say it.
Because he's just very calm as he's doing it. He's like, you do this brow, and it's just very, it's worth a watch.
Just makes me sad that like he's better at makeup than I am. My girl status card gets turned in.
That was it's funny because there's one point in the video where she jokes something to that effect, and she was like, "You do this better than girls do."
I think for your daughters, you should like give them the Kiss full makeover and send them to school and see how that goes over. Like the yeah.
Julia would be all over the kitty cat one.
Oh yeah, true. Chris. Yes. And I did actually a Kiss makeup look several years ago with my friend Ashley. Right. We did each of us did a couple.
Yeah, you did the album cover if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep. Yeah, that was fun. I had to kind of shave to do that, but yeah. But that's the thing. I was covered in paint.
When was the last time you were fully, like, completely clean shaven? Was it for like the Phantom of the Opera thing?
Gosh, I've got to really think about this for a minute because I
think even then.
Yeah, even for that, I just took like my trimmer and just took the guard off and shaved it down. So like if you look close enough, you'll still kind of see a little bit. If we're going like legit clean shaven, probably
your penguin looks clean shaven. But was that prosthetics?
15 years ago. Penguin?
Or not penguin.
Joker.
The black and white Joker. Thank you.
Yeah, I was like, penguin? The heck? No, for Joker, same kind of thing. I just took like the guard off, and so I'm really trimmed down. So, but it's not enough. It was thin enough that I was able to put enough paint over it to
hide it.
Kind of hide it, right? Yeah.
So like 15 years. It's a long time.
Probably
hasn't
something
seen
like
the light
that.
of day. Your chin hasn't seen the light of day.
Yeah, there was a period maybe about 12 years ago where I kind of went back to the mustache goatee look for a little bit. for
So
like
at least your
a couple
cheeks
weeks.
got to feel the breeze.
Yeah, and then I was like, ugh, I don't like this look. So I was like, I'm just growing it all back in. I don't care.
Well, something that a lot of people didn't like the look of, which is kind of funny, was when Star Wars, the special edition, was re-released in theaters. And I remember people losing their marbles over to me, it looked like very slight kind of changes from the original to the re-release. January 31st, 1997. And Mike, you and I, when we were discussing the show, we kind of talked about how this special re-release in movies is like the reason we really got into Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was for me because I didn't really grow up specifically watching Star Wars. Because like my grandparents or my mom or anybody really watched it. So I wasn't really exposed to it really kind of until these movies came out. And, friends in school and stuff were like, hey, Star Wars, blah, blah, blah. And it kind of brought about this resurgence.
See, I had my older brothers liked it and watched it, but they were so much older than me that they watched it and were done with it and never brought it back into our house. But I had a friend in grade 6 who loved Star Wars. That was the thing that she and her dad did. And so when this came out in 97, she was like, we're going. And I'm like, okay, I have no idea what this is.
Yeah. And they did the deal where they released, all 3 of the originals over a span of like 3 or 4 months back then. And it was a hit because it was the #1 movie for 3 weeks in a row when it was re-released.
See,
now this is a fandom we know that you like, Andy.
It is. So, see, and I'm not crazy nuts about it like either, because I think same with you guys when I was, when it came out, and then by the time like the fad, I guess, kind of wore off, I was finally starting to watch movies, and then they were coming out with movies that we started watching when we were kids, like Goon and, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, the re-release was good because it kind of reminded people that not that they would forget that they still exist, but I remember watching them on TV. That always have like Star Wars marathons. And then you always have the first 3. I call them the first 3, even though they're,
yeah, technically not
or whatever. But
roll my eyes.
Yep. So I'd spend all day, watching all 3 of them, and then that was that, But yeah, there's some Star Wars nuts out there. I'm not like super hardcore crazy because I'll admit it's kind of like it's similar to like the whole comics thing. Like there's comics and books and all that. I'm not that detailed, but I kind of am familiar with the movies and stuff. And in fact, just recently, I don't want to say I forced myself, but like with the Clone Wars cartoon and Star Wars Rebels, I kind of forced myself to watch that because it's almost like a history lesson, and it's like educational. Like you can kind of learn backstories and different characters. You're like, oh, that makes sense now. But
and especially as so much more of the universe is coming in, how we have like the Mandalorian and Boba Fett shows and Ahsoka and all these people. It's like there's a lot of backstory information from those shows that I've been told that I need to watch because they're going to ultimately tie in, or at least help kind of explain, going back to the point we made earlier with the Star Wars and the Marvel movies, where there's things that get referenced that you're like, oh,
right.
Yeah. See, that's why I'm glad I have Nick. He just tells me and fills me in. I'm like, all right.
All right. Perfect.
I don't have to do all the research.
But yeah, that's and that's what's kind of cool is like some people will see like something so stupid, or it's like a piece of equipment or something, like, oh, that's from this episode of this, that, and you're like, I had no idea, like, okay.
Yeah. Or like there's one episode in The Mandalorian where you see like is it a loth cat? I think it's what it's called.
Oh yeah.
And from like the planet that Ezra's from Rebels. Yeah.
Yep.
And like Nick was like, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even see the cat.
Yep.
But it's nice that they do that for fans that have read the books and are really invested in this universe.
Yep.
That's cool.
Those nice little Easter eggs are always good for people.
And the detail in your Star Wars cosplays it's incredible, right? When you're like, oh, I'm not a detailed person. It's like, but the cosplays, those are detailed.
Well, I did the Boba Fett one.
It's so good.
That one was my, I haven't done a big project in a long time. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm due. And I saw it in Mandalorian when I saw him return. And I'm assuming you both saw Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Right.
You're good. Yep.
Okay. So, when he kind of comes back and he just goes ape on all the stormtroopers and all that. And then, all of a sudden he has his equipment back on. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And I'm like, yeah, I got to do it from there. So I was going to originally do that version where he was wearing, like, he had like the black robe, and then he had the like tan colored equipment, his suit, and then he had like all his armor was all just rusted and scraped up. Well, then he made that appearance with the all black, and I'm like, I'm gonna do that one. And yeah, it all snowballed into there just because I just thought it looked so cool. And I just love the way that, they brought him back. So I'm like, if I'm gonna go big, I'm gonna go big and go home. So that one was
the amount of effort on that one was crazy cool.
That was a year-long project, but luckily it went smooth and only a few little hiccups here and there. But yeah, that one was fun.
Yeah.
So I'm all excited now for Book of Boba. And I mean, there's some things where I'm like, but as any fan, I think you have that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was even like with the Ghostbusters movie last year. It was like I loved it, but there were a few little parts here and there where you're like, like something else, do a little something different here. But Andy and I have discussed that previously, but we won't. Trish hasn't seen it yet, so we won't get into too spoiler.
All right, I gotta go. I will see you guys later. I can't believe she hasn't seen it. So it's been nice. Come on, Trish, what is wrong with you?
I'm trying.
I know it's so hard. Like I said, I haven't seen Spider-Man either, but it's on the list.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the same thing with that. There's things where, as a hardcore fan, you're like, I don't know if I'd do that, but you kind of got to look at every fandom or movie and go, was it enjoyable? Did it do what it needed to do? And if it did, then you should just be happy. And
yeah, as long as I don't like actively hate something, it's like I'm okay with it. I'm good.
Right.
Yeah. I definitely would not hate, like, if this happened to me on February 1st. We don't have a date.
Well, there is no date technically.
There's no date technically, but the Willy Wonka Golden Ticket Tour starts. I loved Willy Wonka, the original movie with Gene Wilder. I guess I used to make my mom rent it like every weekend. And if I could ever go on the tour of the factory, I know for a fact I would probably not make it to the end. I would get way too distracted and get lost in the factory and be like off with the Oompa Loompas singing or doing something. But I would have a damn good time while I was doing it.
I just love how you said I would make my mom rent the tape. Like that's a phrase that your girls would not understand.
Well, and I guess my mom, the VHS. I guess my mom always wanted to watch it, and my brothers were like, no, right? Like, because my oldest brother's 9 years older than me, and the next one's 5 years older than me. So she was like trying forever to get this movie into our house. And finally I came along and she's like, oh, Trishy, like, what do you think? And then from that point on, for months, every Saturday we'd go to the grocery store. Willy Wonka came home.
Nice.
I probably wouldn't have made it past the gum, where it was the full meal with the dessert. That would have got me. I would have been done there, hands down.
I would just see the Oompa Loompas for the first time in the chocolate river and just gone.
Just hugging everyone that you could find. Come here.
Like, where do you live? What do you do? What's your house like? Let's go behind this panel.
I'm going to take you home with me. You're mine. Like
Truth. I definitely would have tried.
Everybody's got cats, dogs. You have an Oompa Loompa and a couple candy bars.
There you go. The as a side note, because anybody that's listening to this is probably sitting here thinking, wait a minute, the movie's October. So the reason we're mentioning it now is the book actually says February 1st, but in the movie it's October 1st. And the reason they did that was because when they filmed the movie, it was in like the early part of the year, and so things wouldn't have looked, or wait, I might have this backwards. They made it October in the movie because it would, if it was February 1st like it is in the book, it would have been too wintry, and they were filming the movie at a non-wintry time or something.
And that's the Johnny Depp version.
No, the
original.
The original, yeah.
Yeah, because it's definitely very springy.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be fun though.
Now I just want candy.
We always end up talking about food at some point on the episode.
We do, because we always record these when we're like hungry, and so that never works. But thanks to Trish, I still have some Canadian snacks that I can go eat after the show.
I don't have like anything chocolate. I just have I have some all dressed chips, which I'm sorry, I know you guys don't have all dressed there. Nick's called them, I guess in California they have earthquake chips. They're kind of similar. It's just like a bunch of spices. So I don't know if
like potato chips.
Yeah, they're potato chips they're just all dressed flavor.
They're kind of like a ketchup flavored potato chip a little bit.
Yeah, but with more, they're tangier.
I have a coffee. I'm gonna go have a coffee crisp bar after this.
Poor Andy. I have to send Andy some candy.
Yeah,
I got the Christmas card was awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
So I gotta send some stuff. I've been super bad with COVID of like, oh right, there's like timelines and things that I can do.
I know. I almost didn't get them out, so I was like, I'm gonna quit doing. I would be like, when they get there, they get there.
Yeah.
That reminds me, Trish. Did you get mine yet?
Oh, I did. Yes, I loved yours too. But you had given me a preview of it.
Yeah, you saw
Yeah.
it when I had designed it. So
Yeah.
but I was like, wait, I don't know if
Yeah.
you forgot.
I got yours. I got Andy's. I got Russ's, all
Yep.
roughly around the same time.
Good.
Yeah. So that was really nice. It was good bonuses coming home from work where I'm like, I'm so sad. Oh, yay. Letters from friends.
See, and I'm surprised Mike's not wearing what I got him. I got him something specifically for this upcoming next couple of weeks, so that he would
That's
wear it
right.
and help me out.
He told me what you got him.
I know. I saw the picture when he took it, and I'm like, that's great. I'm like, I'm gonna have to use that for down the road for like blackmail purposes, but we'll save that for a better time.
I was thinking last night. I was like, I need to remember to go put that on while we're recording. I was gonna put it on before you joined online with us here, so I would have been wearing it when you came on, but I totally forgot.
Yeah.
So.
But tell the listeners, Mike, what did Andy get you?
Well, you see,
say it with pride. Say it with pride.
Since he is a fan of the Green Bay Packers, they are known for their iconic headwear. So he got me an official Green Bay Packers cheesehead.
Cheesehead hat.
Is it called a cheesehead hat, or is it just called a cheesehead?
Well, what's funny
What is
is up here, they literally make anything out of cheese, like the foam or whatever. That's like a cheese head. It's like a wedge. It looks like a wedge,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And like they make hats that look like it, ties. There's women that wear bra tops. They wear them at the games like that.
Out of this foam that looked like cheese, or
Yep.
just out of literal cheese?
No, that'd be
Okay.
that
would be dangerous.
that would be very awkward, I guess, for everybody involved. But yeah, it's like the foam. They look like, it almost reminds me of like Ariel and her shells.
Okay.
Right.
Like that.
But it's Swiss cheesy.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep, and it's foam. So well, I'll have to get you one. I'll have to get you some, and you can wear them when you're out skating with the kids.
Yeah. I'll just rock that one.
Right.
So my style.
No one will drive by and go, "What is going on over there?" Just wave and carry on.
Well,
Just, hello, I'm sporting my favorite sports team here.
Right.
That's funny.
yeah.
Mike, you should have when it was National Hat Day on the 15th. Should have thrown your picture of wearing the cheese head.
I should have.
Missed opportunities next year.
Well,
Right.
like
There's always next year.
okay, but to be fair to me, January 15th, the playoffs were just starting. So like, I can't have any of that Packers nonsense going on when my Bucks are still in it. You know what I mean?
It's that sports superstition. I hear you. I hear you.
Be lucky I even put the damn thing on my head just to send you a picture.
Because it could be bad juju, right?
Now
For your team.
Now you know how I feel when I do Clark Griswold and I'm wearing the Bears hat up here during it's bad because I'll wear it just for fun. I wear it out to like shopping or something. So I'm wearing that whole like get up just because people will look at me and they'll be like, oh, that's Clark Griswold. But yeah, you're wearing a Bears hat in Packers country. That's going to be shot. So
that's going to be bad.
I mean, like, I feel like it was, designed for me not to get this thing because so they actually delivered it to the house next door to me.
So it didn't even get to the right house?
It didn't get the right house. Now, thankfully, the neighbors that live there, they're gone. They have a screened-in porch, but they're gone because they had moved. They still own the house, but they're not living there. And so Andy messages me. He's like, hey, did you get a package, by the way? And I'm like, no. So he sends me the tracking. He's like, it says it was left on the front porch. And I'm like, no. And then I had the idea. So I'm going to go check next door. And sure enough, I walked next door because I had a package from another package that said was delivered. And I was like, well, wait a minute now. So then I started putting two and two together. I'm like, maybe they delivered to the wrong house. And sure enough, I walked next door and there it was. And then I opened it and then I regretted it. I'm like, it was good. Thank you, Andy, for that.
I expect to see you wearing it when we're in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You got to get there first. Whatever.
I'll just be cheering for either one of you.
No, you see,
Yay,
the Super Bowl.
ball.
The Super Bowl is going to be like Groundhog Day from last year, where Tampa wins again, and
which is of course, February 2nd. We celebrate Groundhog Day. If you go back to season 1 of our show, we talk about the different groundhogs in both Canada and the US and their predictions and how accurate they are, which is shockingly not that accurate. If you're like surprised at all,
right?
And
it's not.
You'll learn how the whole thing's a giant work and it's all bogus, basically. It's this overhyped thing just to crowds gather. And so it's a fun deep dive into one of the first episodes we did. If you ever want to go back that far.
But the poor little groundhog, he just gets poked awake and then he has to stay awake. So they keep him in his little warm burrow until it's actually spring.
I mean, I'd want to go back in my hole too.
Yeah, We could all just pretend that like this is not this whole time of year is not happening and just stay in bed and chill out.
I'm down for that.
I'm okay.
See, that's what I want to do in July when it's like 92 degrees down here.
Think of the iguanas, Mike.
I don't have an iguana. I don't care about the iguana.
You should start that a new holiday with the iguana instead of see how many days or early winter or late winter for you now. You could do it with the iguana.
Yeah.
Whether it comes out of its cave. I mean, where do
When it falls out of its tree.
It falls out of the tree.
Tree?
When it gets
Okay.
too cold.
When it gets too cold in Florida, the iguanas like they're cold blooded, and so they kind of shut down and kind of hibernate, and so they just fall out of trees.
See, it could be the reverse holiday, right? Groundhog Day is like spring arriving. The iguana falling out of the tree will be like, oh, it's the first day of winter.
There we go. That could be a thing. I like it.
I think you got a moneymaker on your hand right now.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yes.
actually a character you haven't cosplayed, Andy, because the movie's released February 12th, 1993. I mean, I know it's not in your 80s genre, but it's kind of around there for some of your cosplays.
It's Bill Murray. I mean,
yeah.
That's when he was like just raking in all the awesome roles.
Yeah, because it was early 90s, so he had came off of Ghostbusters and Stripes and all that stuff in the 80s.
Yeah.
Scrooged.
What about Bob?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Got to add it to the list, I guess.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
Baby steps.
That's like wasn't it a couple years ago when he redid like a commercial? Wasn't it like a Super Bowl commercial or something where he had the groundhog, I think?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what it was.
Super
for
funny.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of super funny, Andy, this has been fun. Thank you for coming on and being our first guest. We have enjoyed having you. We will love to have you back sometime in the future. Well, I say that. I assume Trish.
I say that. Yeah.
It's like Trish, you're getting
Don't throw
overruled.
me under the bus.
But
she hasn't seen Ghostbusters, so we can throw her under any bus that we want. So,
well, we can't have you on until she sees it, I guess. Then
it looks really good. I'm really on board to see it.
Or just tune in next week for the Mike and Andy show.
There you go. I'll even let you go first instead of the Andy and Mike show. We'll let it be the Mike and Andy.
Okay, that works. Yeah.
I'll give you that because you got the voice. I don't have the radio.
To be
voice.
fair, I tried to go with the Mike and Trish show because I like the alphabeticalness of M and then T.
I liked the phoneticness and the way it flowed better.
Well, when you do all the prep work, Mike, you might as well take the credit and let Trish just go out and move cars in her driveway. You do what you need to do and let her do.
I do have to go do that now.
Well, I do appreciate you guys having me. This was fun. I hope it flowed the way you wanted to, and it was good talking about all this key stuff, man.
It was fun.
It was fun, and I look forward to the times when we can get together in person and do this.
Mike has this master plan of all of us going to Florida for a convention.
I'm slowly making it happen. Like little by little, I'm getting people here. So it's just a matter of getting everybody here for like the same convention. That's the goal. But I'm kind of excited for May, and that's all I'll say on that right now.
I think May is going to be a good month, I should say, this year.
Yeah,
I think Trish is going to be home crying in May. Let's just put it that way.
But does she have to be? Does she have to be?
We can. There are ways we can possibly make something work. I'm just saying it's plausible.
Well, I guess everyone's just going to have to stay tuned.
Yeah, we shall see, and we'll see you next week right here on the Time Machine.